96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Foundation with Hearts Grant is brought to you by Bahamas Welding and Fire, Bond for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, Kelly's Home Center, the National Insurance Board, Popeyes, Ron's Electric Motors, and the World Athletics World Relays.
Time is on slipping into the future. Slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, make my spirit carry me. I wanna fly right into the future.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Time keeps on slipping. And today we ain't going to be talking about no politics. We're going to get into some things. It is Small Business Thursday. I am grateful to be here in your company. It is a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. I got to roll right into it and thank all the persons that continue to be able to sponsor the show. Today is a day that we always take time to identify in the Guardian newspaper and papers throughout the country. There's kind of an idea of where we are. When we touch the paper, you know, you have more supplementary columns, and you know that it's the obituary section. On Thursday, our brothers and sisters here throughout the length and breadth of the country, or even abroad, who's actually passed away. So we always do this at this time to be able to identify those particular persons and take the time to kind of ride through it and to look through it for those persons and, you know, give a soft prayer up and a memory up. Now, if you're one of those persons who are dealing with it and you're dealing with sort of the transition of your family and someone your loved one has passed on, and you want them to be able to capture the life and the essence of who they are in that time, and even in your time of bereavement, just before you put them down and give them a send off, I always tell you, reach out to my good, decent people and family over at Butler's Funeral Homes and Crematorium. They can be able to assist you in all matters as it relates to this particular time, the rough time for you, and this transition. Just reach out to them. They are on Ernest and York Street. They'd be more than happy to assist you in this time of your bereavement. All right? I just want to be able to say that. Every time we do that, we want to be able to talk like this and have this great conversation. Guys, got to shout out my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. You know that I often tell you that I want you to go there and check it out and call my bluff. Give me a shout, Howard. You know, I try these people. Let me know. Let me know exactly where they are. Hit them up. AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They are located number 407 in Blue Hill Road South. They can be able to take very good care of you if you're in the market for insurance. For your SDs, your jitneys, liveries, your jet skis, any of the E's, you can be able to ease your mind as it relates to the insurance that you can get. Give them a call at 341-1AFS, in-house financing, open on Saturdays from 9 to 2. They're able to assist you. Actually, my good friend, Ethric Bow, he'd be more than happy to assist you in those areas. Guys, got a shout out also. You're going to be able to hear the commercial today, but I got to give a shout out to my good, decent people over at Da Vinci's Printing Innovators. Da Vinci's Printing Innovators. If you're in the space that you need to be able to get a project from your mind, from that scrap paper that you put it on, to a professional stance in terms of proposal, you need to go and check the guys out over at Da Vinci's Printing Innovators. They are located on Village Road, right there. Village Road, Burnett Road, Wolf Road, Soldier Road. All the intersection right there leads you right to Da Vinci's Printing Innovators. They can take very good care of you. If you want your envelopes for church, if you're looking for seed envelopes, if you're looking for tithe envelopes, if you're looking for pastor's gift envelope, if you're looking, whatever you're looking for, they can assist you with that. They do the printing right there in-house. If you're looking to do your proposal, if you're looking to do graphics, you can do that. DaVinciPrinting.com. DaVinciPrinting242.com. Now, a few weeks ago, I told you I twist my leg, right? I did. I had this kind of a thing, right? I don't know what happened, right? I was stepped down in my garage. I told you about the story. I stepped down in my garage, and in stepping down in my garage, I don't know what happened. I did not anticipate that there was an extra stair there. I didn't. I don't know. Right? Hurt my foot so bad. I thought it was going to be good. Right? Man, I thought the thing was broken. How that was pulsating and it was going on. I had so much issues trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Right? Finally, get an opportunity to be able to go down to the doctor. My wife made me go. I thought I was going to be good. I was going to be all right. All right. I tried to massage it out, and that thing was pulsating all night. Had a great opportunity to be able to go down to Bahamas OrthoCare. They had everything available for me. Sat down there with none other than Dr. Aitken Minutes, and he gave me sort of a run through, right? This orthopedic care and so forth and so on. And I wanted to have a good conversation with him because a lot of times these conversations are isolated to spaces that we don't really be able to know, right? So we went down there to understand a little bit more about OrthoCare with none other than Dr. Aitken Minnis. Dr. Minnis, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing well, thank you.
When I say Dr. Minnis, a lot of these people get excited just now. They need to calm down. They need to calm down, right? Y'all need to calm down. Dr. Minnis, talk to me about this, man. Talk to me. Introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are and your profession.
So my name is Dr. Aki Minnis. I am an orthopedic surgeon.
How do you pronounce it? Aki?
Aki, yes.
Aki.
Yes, Aki.
I pronounce it wrong.
Most people call me, or most people would pronounce it Akin as they say.
Okay.
But it's
Aki.
It's Aki. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in Nassau, Bahamas. I grew up here, spent my whole life here. And then what happened was I got involved in a lot of different areas. One of them was the medical area. I found it fascinating, and then I went off. And I did my training in medicine, first in Jamaica and then on to South Africa. And then
South Africa?
South Africa, that's correct, yes.
You know how far that is?
Halfway across
Do you know
the
this?
world.
The schools are right around. You pass all kind of schools. Wow.
So you have to go where opportunity takes you. And that's
a good
one of
point,
the things. And when given the chance, I went and I studied postgraduate orthopedic. Later after, I trained in University of Toronto in Canada, and then I came home where I now reside and have my practice going. So that's a little bit about me.
How long have you been practicing since you came back?
So from 2020, I've been practicing.
Really?
Yes, orthopedic surgery.
So you're fairly new in this. How do you like this?
I love it.
You
love
do?
it. It's a labor of love. I love what I do.
I mean, from a layman's standpoint, sitting on the outside, just thinking about how you have to go through various scents of corn chips on a day-to-day basis. And what is that? You go through these things, and then you ask yourself, why do people pick these certain professions? I think every profession has its own sort of, kind of kinks, and you look at it in a particular manner. But tell me about the passion of why you decided to be able to choose this, because this wasn't a haphazard, casual decision. This is a decision that you've made, and you committed to it.
Absolutely. So I always knew that I wanted to be in the medical field somewhere along the way. And what happened was when I got involved, it was a wide open field. So there are different areas of medicine, and when you're training, you actually transition through those areas and you learn a lot about those things. But the passion really wasn't ignited until I actually finished my first degree in medicine, my MBBS, and I was at home and I was working in the orthopedic field doing one of my rotations. And I think it found me. I found it. It found me at that point in time, and it was instantaneous. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that's where I wanted to be in the future. I knew I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, and so I set my course. I set my bearings, and that was it.
It's a unique profession. I think a lot of people move towards a general area, general practitioner, these particular things, because if you're thinking from an economic standpoint, you never know whether or not persons will be able to kind of, move into this direction when they're home. So to be able to identify that and still find yourself in a position that you're doing well, I got to commend you, my brother.
Thank you.
I got to commend you. You're doing well. You're doing excellent. I thought I had superb service from you. I want to be able to talk about that. Now, generally, a lot of persons don't know specifically what the orthopedic surgeon does. Talk to me about that, and talk to me about the difference between that and, I suppose, a podiatrist, what people will call a foot doctor. Talk to me about it.
Okay, so an orthopedic surgeon deals with the musculoskeletal system, and they deal mainly with the bones and joints. Okay, and that could be with the upper limbs or the arms or forearms. It could be the spine. It could be the pelvis, the hips, the knees, the ankles, all the way down to even including the hands. With a podiatrist, the podiatrist deals with disorders of the foot and ankle. So they go from the toenail up to the ankle specifically. But the orthopedic surgeon deals with a whole lot more. So it's very broad. What we do. So there are a number of bones and joints in the
So even the
body.
podiatrist will send you to an orthopedic surgeon if they find themselves in a unique position.
In a unique position. If there's a hip problem, they may have a foot problem, they could deal with it. If they have a hip problem, they would refer it
This
to
is
an
crazy that you say that, because the songs that we know as children, the knee bone connected to the, with all these particular things, right? Are you saying to me that even in the position of whether it's a podiatrist, whether it's, depending on the doctors, if they're dealing with the skeletal system, they would find their way sending them to you in the
Yes.
event that they have an issue, no matter where it is?
Yes.
If we have an issue, a muscular issue, bone issue, something like that,
Joint issue.
a joint issue, we're going to send you to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, talk to me about
Yes,
it.
yes. And so I would deal with all of those things. So from muscles, tendons, ligaments, joints, hip, knee, ankle, foot, shoulder, elbow, wrist, okay, and even hand. I would deal with all of those issues. The spine is also included, so I also deal with disorders of the spine in a limited
I
capacity.
can ask you one quick question,
Right.
because you said wrists.
Rest, yes.
I got a call this morning, and I guess speaking of, there are some people who I know that have carpal tunnel,
Yes.
right? Is this something that you would deal with?
So yes, that falls within the purview of the orthopedic surgeon, and then you have specialized, even within the realm of orthopedics, you have specialized disciplines. So, for example, in orthopedics, you can have a hand surgeon in orthopedics, and they can deal with carpal tunnel. But generally speaking, some orthopods, as we call them, can deal with a carpal tunnel syndrome if they have carpal tunnel.
I don't want to get deep with this, but I want to know whether or not, after we reach a point where we recognize that this is triggered by a nerve issue, right? Do you now transition onto another doctor, or is this something that you deal with?
Well, it's something that I can deal with, okay. But if it's really bad, then I would refer it to
specialist.
Yes, a hand specialist. But I can deal with that problem very easily. I'm trained to deal with it.
So talk to me about it. Let persons know exactly where you are, the services that you offer. I needed to bring you on today because I was blown away by your service. I was blown away by your approach, your humility in the office, and being able to deal with these particular matters, because I didn't know what to do. I mean, my wife, she blew the thing right out of proportion. Oh, I got to lift you. I said, baby, how you gonna lift me? You see her? How you gonna lift me? She need to stop, right? So I just wanted to let persons know that if you're in a lot of persons just get up and go to the clinic. A lot of persons just get up and go to these particular spaces without knowing that there are specialized areas that can be able to assist you if you're getting to these particular things. Let them know that what you offer and exactly where you are in your numbers.
So what I offer is a comprehensive care, orthopedic-wise, for the musculoskeletal system. So all affectations of the bone and joints. I focus mainly on my training is focused on hip and knee, as well as upper limb, shoulder, elbow. So I deal with all musculoskeletal injuries, from minor injuries to major injuries, traumatic injuries, fractures, broken bones, whether they're strictly a bone or whether they include a bone and a joint. I also deal with sports injuries, shoulders, rotator cuffs, elbow, knee.
I just was about to ask you, because there's a lot of knee issues in the country.
There's a lot of knee issues in the country. Yes, there's a lot of knee issues in the country. I also deal with ligamentous injuries as well. So, those persons who have Achilles tendons, they may have muscle strains, they may have sprains, knee sprains, ankle sprains, wrist, okay? All of those things, the scope of what I can deal with at the specialist level.
I want to say this, right, before we wrap it up. My grandmother had an issue with arthritis
Yes.
for, as she got older. And she would rub it. And I think she went to a doctor. I don't know whether or not they put steroids in it. And it gave her sort of a quick boost just for a little time. And then eventually it kind of drifted off. Is this something that you deal with for an older demographic who have knee issues or hip issues and other things that it's something that you deal with?
Absolutely. I deal with it on a day-to-day basis. That's a good part of my practice. So those individuals who may be having those issues can most certainly definitely come and contact me, find out where I am. I'm located currently at 5th Terrace, Centerville, and also at a new location in Palmdale, which will be soon to open. So they can just reach out at Bahamas Ortho Care, number 13, 5th Terrace, Centerville, and then I would be able to assist them and direct them accordingly.
You got a number?
Number is 323-0377.
323-0377.
Yes.
And you're located in, you don't know? Okay, let me tell you what. You're in the same plaza as Ambassador Devin Rowe.
Yes, absolutely.
He calls it the Honda Plaza.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes,
so the Honda
the
Plaza.
Honda Plaza. That's the one.
Okay, so no problem, right? Okay, so you can go down there, ladies and gentlemen. It is number 5th Terrace and Centerville right there. If you know the road where I think KS Moses is on the same road, right? Am I correct? KS Moses is on the same strip?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
KS
yes,
Moses
by
is on
Robert's
the same
Furniture.
strip by Robert's Furniture, okay? So you can be able to go there. It's the Yellow Plaza. It's going to be on the southern side of the road. It's right there. It's called Bahamas Ortho Care. Dr. Aki Minutes.
Correct.
Dr. Minutes, all right? Don't go in there talking about Dr. Aki. You need to stop, right? Go there, and he is extremely sprightly. He is bright. He is youthful. He is engaged, and he is definitely quick in terms of being able to receive information and back. He has a great staff there. I want you guys to go down there and check it out. It's Bahamas Ortho Care, number 13, 5th Terrace, Centerville. The numbers again, 323-0377, 323-0377. Doc, you got to be able to come back again and talk to us about a few things or whatever the case may be,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely,
I really
sir.
like this. I enjoy this show. I got a tremendous amount of questions to ask
Certainly.
because, I grew up with an older family. I grew up, all my uncles big also. So I had, they had issues with knees and so forth and so on. So I have a lot of questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you got more questions, you want to be able to find out some information, give them a call at 323-0377, 323-0377. And that is Dr. Minnis here with us all the way from Bahamas Ortho Care. My brother, thank you so very kindly. I really appreciate this.
I
enjoyed
appreciate
this.
being here. Thank you very much.
You got to come
for
back
having me.
again.
Yes.
Your first time
absolutely.
was a breeze.
Yeah. Thank
Praise God. We'll take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back after this.
Future. Time is on slipping into the future. So I will fly like an eagle to the sea.
Hey, y'all having party? Why you ain't tell me?
You only has come to tote. Who tell you anyway?
Don't worry about that. Wings? From Popeyes?
Yeah, man. Popeyes have 5 flavors of wings now. Honey barbecue, ghost pepper, signature hot, sweet and spicy, and roasted garlic parmesan.
Anyway, while they're here, I might as well try one.
You better head to Popeyes and grab a box.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind. In your studio, your office, to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle, every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Elaine, you hear what Boss Man was saying in the back there just now? About what? The luncheon? Why you always worried about food? No, about how we gotta pay a little more for national insurance. Mildred, you talking fool. I can't afford to pay that. And you're always crying, poor mouth. Ain't gonna be much. Boss still gotta pay. 1st of July 2024. I think that federal benefit is what did help my boy Tony through the pandemic. That same unemployment benefit. And guess what? What? Susan, I think she'd get a pregnancy benefit, eh?
You mean maternity benefit, eh?
So now, we gotta do our part to make sure we get our pension. All right.
For more information, visit niprateIncrease.com.
Time is on slipping into the future. Time is on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, just kind of be able to set the mood. Time keeps on slipping. Tomorrow is D-Day. We could be able to talk about that. We're going to get into that sometime later on today and be able to talk about it. I'm grateful to have an opportunity to be able to talk about a great deal of things. You know why? Because every time I go out and I'm engaged with different services, I see one, innovation, I see customer service, I see a sense of consistency, I see youth and sort of an idea of where the new Bahamas is going to take us. I want to introduce you to newfound cousin, right? I might as well tell you the truth. You's my cousin. Let's just put it like that, right? You're red like me. Or if you wasn't red like me, you're going to be dark like my brother. It's the same thing. It's my family. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a new prospect, new idea, new venture, great opportunities for you to be able to get instant access and a great deal of things going on. For roadside respawns right here in the country, you can be able to do that with none other than Benjamin Moultrie Grant. Mr. Grant, say good afternoon to people.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be on the show, Mr. Grant. My
Listen to
cousin.
me, you was one of the most decent people ever. I just want to say this so everybody could hear. He came bearing great gifts. Ladies and gentlemen, I get everything. My God, I get a little tumbler. I get it. Oh, I appreciate you, my brother. I am grateful for this, grateful for the opportunity. Talk to me about your business.
Sure thing. So, Roadside Response is a 24/7 app that allows you and your whole family to stay protected and safe while you're driving on the road. Roadside Response offers an easy app navigation that allows people to book necessary services when they're stuck on the road with a problem. That includes tire repair, jump starts, if they need help with vehicle lockouts, towing, winching, battery replacements, fuel, and fluid delivery.
This is an exciting thing. You know, Dazi reached out to me about this, right? And Dazi's sitting here in the studio. She got to say something, right?
Hi, everyone.
So you reached out to me about this service, about this sort of an idea, and you said, Howard, we have to have this kind of a show. Talk to me about it, Dazi.
Yeah, so, there are certain projects that the minute you hear about it, you just become completely obsessed with because, it's a product whose time has come. And so this is one of those things. So a lot of persons who may know me from, years past before radio would know me actually from being in the car industry for a number of years.
Yeah.
And so this actual service in the way that this renders assistance is something that has been needed for about 20 years, right? It's not necessarily a new concept, but putting technology together with the services is what
what's
need.
crazy is that I feel
Yeah.
like that 20-year gap is the distance where we are from the progressive world, and as
Right.
the world moves forward and utilizing technologies, concepts, ideas to be able to see sort of forward movement and things happening within their country, their constituencies, whatever. We're distant. And so when I hear apps like this or
Yes.
ways that persons can be able to kind of utilize some stuff, I think it's an amazing thing, man. How did you come up with this sort of an idea to do this?
Well, I'll start with a question for you, Mr. Grant. Do you have any children or family?
Sir, all I have is children. Cough this morning. She might be pregnant. I'm just joking.
Well, for anyone who has a family, they want to make sure that their loved ones are protected and taken care
Absolutely.
of. And there's many instances where I've heard fathers say, maybe 2 a.m. on a holiday weekend, their daughter is out or any of their kids are out, they get a flat tire. They don't have a spare in the car, and they're stuck, and they don't know what to do. And in situations like that, which is common not just for someone going out, but every person on a regular basis driving on the road, every time you drive, you see someone on the side of the road. It's very common to be in a situation where you're stuck and you need assistance. So this came out of a response for that, and understanding that there are families that want the peace of mind to know that their loved ones are protected. Maybe if they're out late at night, if they're away and they can't get to them, or if they're just in a jam and they want a safe, secure, and convenient way to fix their roadside issues.
You know what is an amazing thing? The development maturity of the country and the forward movement or the forward thinking, however you want to be able to view this, places people, they nestle themselves in independence. They're content with it. I don't need this kind of a marriage. I don't need this, and this. I'm good. I'm content by my... They find themselves between a rock and a hard place when they can't access things like that. Like if they get a flat late at night or they have this kind of an issue, there aren't many people, especially if they move from the islands or wherever they are, and they move here in the city of Nassau. You may not know anyone. This service is a superb service to be able to offer to these particular persons who need that, who need this kind of a service. Talk to me about that.
Yes, well, we understand there are people who may be a mechanic themselves. Their best friend, brother, cousin might be a mechanic. This may not be something that appeals to them because they have access to that. But there's a large number of families, women, young children, elderly people, and men as well who don't have access to that. And this is to fill that gap in the market to make sure that everybody is protected and can be safe and secure. It's very responsive. The one real competitive edge that we have is that in the app, similar to Uber, you're able to see who your driver is and who the person is that's coming to assist you. And you can also track how far they are. So it means that when you are, maybe it's late at night and you are booking a tire repair, you know exactly who's coming to meet you and you know how far they are. So it provides
You could track it on the app. You could see where they are on the app.
Yes.
You could track it on the app.
Just like Uber, you can see exactly where they are, how far they are.
5 minutes out, 2 minutes out, so forth and so on.
And a photo of them. So there's no ambiguity to think about who is showing up in the middle of the night to
This
fix
is
my
safe
car.
for women.
Definitely. So I wanted to highlight it just from, a woman's perspective, because one of the things is, even if, let's just say you call, some other random response service, right? One of the issues is sometimes you don't know who is showing up exactly. You don't know what kind of vehicle they're going to be in. These vehicles are clearly marked with the orange, decals. So there's a clear idea of not only the type of vehicle that is going to come and perform a rescue, but also just like Uber, you're going to be able to see the picture of the driver and the little GPS tracker to say, okay, they're 2 minutes out, they're 1 minute out. So there's no confusion. And so for a woman, that's a lot of peace of mind. Also, what if, a lot of times as ladies, we don't carry cash on us, right? Let's just say something happens, there's no cash. Because it's an app where it has a membership service, you don't need that, right? And so it provides a lot of different options for...
This is an excellent idea.
Yeah, for the unexpected, basically. And so especially for women, I encourage, any woman that has ever broken out on the side of the road for any reason, even if you have a brand new car, blowouts happen, tire blowouts happen. Sometimes your keys can get locked. So many things can happen. It's definitely an app that's necessary just for the security aspect of it. Because I remember it was a girlfriend of mine. She felt she was fine, but her husband, he went on a trip, and he was out when he was traveling.
Things happen,
right? And she had, an issue starting the car. And so what then do you do? And I remember her calling me, trying to get, out of my resource network, right? And so we were able to piece it together. But during that time, she had so many things that needed to be tended to. And so this is definitely an app that supports women, supports, like you said, the elderly, or even if you have young drivers. I know you have some young drivers in your household, Howard. Yeah.
And my daughter, she just turned 16. She's like, Daddy, I need to learn to drive now, Daddy.
Right.
So, girl, you need to calm down.
Yeah. So
We'll buy you a mule. No,
right. So I invite everyone to go ahead and visit the website. You can
What's the
download.
website?
You can download it today, and you can actually register tomorrow. So it's roadsideresponselimited.com. And so, yeah, you can go ahead, download the app today. You can register tomorrow. Visit the website, get familiar with, the services. Also, there's a huge corporate component, Benjamin. We definitely can't forget to touch on where in a lot
Benjamin
of
Grant.
yeah,
That's big money.
that was the surprise I had for you there.
That's big money right there.
I
That's
said
a,
it's how
that's a
cousin-
money name. Benjamin Grant.
Oh yeah.
That's the president. That's on the money. Okay, go ahead. I can fight you. Go ahead.
So there's also a corporate element because the same thing. You may have drivers, on the road doing messenger service, delivery service, and they may need rescues as well. And it can be very disruptive to business. You may have, the office administrator trying to scramble around and figure out, who to call, who can help, who can write. And like I said, this is an idea that has been in the works that the Bahamas has needed for quite a while. From when I used to sell cars, and that's years.
RoadsideResponse.com.
Yes.
Roadside
Roadside
Limited.
Limited,
.com.
LTD.
LTD?
.com.
Yeah,
So,
LTD.
yeah,
Roadside
Response
Response
LTD.com. Correct.
LTD.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there and you're in this kind of space, listen, it was raining the other day and I was in the, I was just kind of walking to my car and someone's, I don't know, they parked somewhere and I looked at their tires. And I could see my reflection. And so I was like, listen, these people need new tires. But you know what? There are younger people, right, who are busy, corporate people, focused on the things that they need to be able to do. They need a sense of consistency. They need this sense of assurity to know that everything is going to be okay. They jump in their cars and try to zip to the next obligation, the next responsibility, but not checking on to those things. Does your service provide the opportunity only after there's an issue, or do you come and do like a checkup and so forth and so on?
Well, so there's two options. There is a pay-as-you-go option on the app, meaning that if you download the app and you run into an issue without a membership, you can still purchase a service. However, we do recommend membership because if there's ever a time where you are using it, say after twice, it's already paid for itself. So it's more affordable for you to get a membership. And we have 3 different packages. The first one is Roadside for $195. That's ideal for just a single person who wants to get coverage for themselves. Then we have Roadside Premier at $297. And when you sign up for that, you're able to add 2 additional people onto that package. So this is perfect for maybe a father who wants to get coverage and also cover his kids or his wife or his mother. Or anyone that wants to look at this as not just a package for
And
themselves.
these are annual? This is an annual thing,
Yes.
or is this a...
Annual rates, yes.
These are annual rates?
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
This is an annual rate.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
$195 for one of my tires. On my truck. I mean, not in a bad way.
Or it should be more.
I don't
yeah.
even say it like that.
For your truck.
To say it like that, I'm only saying that this is a superb rate. I think that this is, if you divide it up into the 12 months, and you're paying for a peace of mind when you go out. So let me know how it works. In the event that we are in, I got my vehicle, and we're out and I get a blowout, boom, I'm all the way out west. How do you know what size tire to bring, or how do you know if I don't have a dummy or whatever, or spare, how do you know how to be able to assist me in those matters?
Well, first and foremost, when you register onto the app, you give the specifics of your vehicle. So when you register and you add your own personal details, you're also adding the details of the vehicle so that when the driver is then dispatched to come and help with the issue, they know the specific detail of the vehicle that they're coming to deal with. In certain cases where something like towing is involved or there's something additional that's needed, once the immediate response person arrives on the scene, after they've done their diagnosis and they've come to the determination that there may be additional services or help needed, they can then call in for further help. But that person that comes is able to provide the essential services. And when you go on the app, say you have an issue, you have a flat tire, you run out of fuel, it's all seamless through our easy app navigation. You pull it up on the app, you click exactly what you need, it says your location, and it'll give you a wait time for the driver to be confirmed. And then once it's confirmed, you can track their process as they come to you. And then when they arrive on the scene, everything's taken care of.
Yeah, and worst comes to worst, there's also a car rental option as well built in. So you could look at the different options to access that as well. And some families, yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. This is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
I get in an accident.
Yes.
It's a fender bender, but it was where my radiator's bust. I got to get a new radiator.
Right.
Before I can fix it. It's going to be 3 days.
Yes.
There's an option for me to be able to access a vehicle.
There's an option. So now, obviously, cost of that would vary based on your unique circumstances. So, for example, if you need it for a longer period of time, that would vary. But in terms of locating a rental, that a lot of that headache is gone, because it can be very stressful when catastrophes happen in your car. You have to call a tow truck. Where are they going to take it? Are they going to take it to, there's so many moving elements. Then you have to go locate a rental and all of these things. So what we did was we just made the process very seamless, where all of those pieces come together and you're covered. And let's just say, for example, your car cannot be towed in the traditional way. Sometimes people, they may cocktail a little bit. That won't happen to you, obviously. Benjamin brought you a cider, right? But sometimes
Benjamin brought me a cider, ladies and gentlemen.
They end up in a ditch,
This feel
right?
like Thanksgiving.
Yes, there you go.
boy.
You have people that end up in, ditches on the side of the road, or in sand, or in areas that the car is not supposed to be in. And so that's an option as well. We actually offer winching also. So, if you need to get the car in a spot
Very
where
clearly,
it can't.
winching.
Yes.
Not wenching.
No, that's
different.
That's a very different activity, Howard.
Praise God.
Very different
Just go
activity.
ahead. Right.
And on top of the rental component, if you have the roadside premier package, it comes with 2 days of car rentals free, meaning that if you have that package and you do need a car rented for 2 days, it's complimentary, meaning that there's no upfront
It's
cost.
built into the package.
Yes.
That is an amazing thing.
Yes. And then after those 2 days, if you'd like to continue continue as a traditional rental through the app, but if you have the roadside premier, if you're in a jam, you wouldn't even need to worry about how you'll get around for the next 2 days.
Yeah, it
Tell
takes
me
the stress
this.
away.
Tell me this. For those persons who have third-party insurance, right? They don't have comprehensive insurance. They need. I need to find someone to be able to fix my vehicle. I need a body man. I need this. I need that. Does the app provide any of these services that you could be able to recommend? I know these particular persons that we're confident in their services. You could be able to identify these things. Do you offer any of that in that?
So at the moment, vendors will have to be built in. So later on, that will definitely be a component, once persons are vetted and, we're exploring partnerships, in that arena.
I love
But
this.
for now, it's definitely, so later on that is coming. Yes, absolutely. But at the initial onset, it's just, like I said, with the premier package, the coverage with the rental to make sure you're sorted. So you don't have that immediate stress that happens. And let's just say you have other types of vehicles as well. Because, I know households where they have, a golf cart and someone has a motorcycle or an ATV or a bicycle. You also have the ability to add on other types of vehicles as well. So like a brand, but there's a particular brand of golf cart that I always see on the side of the road when I'm heading out west. They tend to have, some challenges. It is perfect for that as well.
They need a new golf cart.
Well,
They need a new golf cart.
And even
I don't
if,
want to say that, but you do see them having challenges.
Even if at this time we do not have the direct service available to be a mechanic, we can get you to the mechanic. We can get your car there after an issue if it cannot be fixed on site. So that's another added service that if you want the peace of mind to know that the car gets to where it needs to go so that it can be worked on from today, we can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the services that Roadside Response offers: tire repair, jump start, vehicle lockout, the towing, fuel delivery, fluid delivery, battery replacement, and wenching, right? Do you offer any services for, say I have an electric vehicle?
I'm glad you touched on that. So yes, that will also be an option in terms of if you can add, gasoline, pure electric, or hybrid to this plan. You will be covered with all of them. Now, obviously, each particular type of car would have, different safety mechanisms. And so we're making sure the team is getting all trained. And so you are completely safe. You don't have to worry about, the team compromising or ruining your car if it's a specialty vehicle. You're covered. So yes,
This is
across the board.
absolutely bananas.
I can't leave out the electric people. Howard,
This
I
is
cannot.
I know you can't.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
This is why I did that. Right?
Yeah.
So this is bananas, my brother. Let me tell you why. Because there is so much room for growth in this. Right. Just conversations that we're having. What about the possibility of people being able to get their vehicle, get insured, get this, get that? Because all this is you as a liaison forging relationships and providing a service. This is amazing.
So concierge, I'm glad you actually brought that up. That is an option existing now. So for a lot of the clients that, especially
You offer a concierge option in here?
concierge is optional. And the reason why we did that is because for a lot of clients that come to the Bahamas, you may be an expat, you may, be here for a period of time, on a work permit. Navigating the system, of licensing and, registering the vehicle, getting the insurance, it can be extremely daunting. It can be extremely time consuming. Plain don't know where to go and how to navigate the system. So we do have a concierge service for that. If you do have, like a lot of the offshore banks will have, in a lot of cases, staff that, need to get set up and, they don't have the in-house capability or capacity to handle it. We do offer our concierge service for that as well.
This is an excellent thing.
Yeah.
You got to give me the numbers again and give me the information so persons can be able to reach out if they want to be a part of what's going on over at Roadside Response.
Yeah, so please definitely go to the website today. So you can go ahead and download it today, and then you'll be able to do the registration portion of it tomorrow. So we're giving you a bit of a sneak peek.
So it's
before it drops.
roadsideresponseltd.com. Roadsideresponseltd.com.
And we also want to mention, sometimes not everybody is technology friendly to download an app and set up the membership. So we want to also stress that outside of tapping the app, you can also call. You can call us at 605-ROAD or 824-ROAD. And if this is an elderly person or a young person that is in need of help, like right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was none other than Benjamin Moultrie Grant, being able to bring us all the information, what's happening over at Roadside Response, and the lovely Dazzy's here with him, being able to talk about these things, be a part of what they're doing. Make sure you check them out. RoadsideResponseLTD.com. RoadsideResponseLTD.com. All the information's there. This is truly, truly exciting. I love to be able to see cutting edge stuff moving in the proper direction. Give them a call today, 605-7623, 605-ROAD, 605-7623, or 824-7623. Quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get to news and be right back after this.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group up for sound promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake-N-Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky D, Veronica Bishop, The Brylanders, Avi, Elon Moxie, and Shine 242. Join the Falcons, Iron Storm, Dovi Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Rami, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamasEtickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best Rake-N-Script Explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian magic.
John's Care Medical Wear. John's Care Wear is fully stocked with scrub sets and separates by Healing Hands, Cherokee, Skechers, Dickies, Medical, and Adar Medical in sizes extra small to 5X. John's Care Wear also carries a full line of slip-resistant shoes by Nursemates and Clogs, and stockings and socks for those long days on your feet. Thank you to all the healthcare workers who have seen us through these difficult times. John's Care Wear's friendly and helpful staff is happy to serve you at both Rosetta Street and Carmichael Road locations.
into the future. Time goes on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation, here with you live and in full effect. Grateful to be with you on this beautiful day as you dive deeper into your lunch break, your lunch hour, and just kind of chiming in and seeing exactly what's what. I got a shout out to my good, decent people over at Coco Plum Bistro and Bar. They are located out west. You know exactly where they are. They are in a beautiful location just as you head towards Lyford Key on the right-hand side right there. You can be able to get them. My good friend Chantel sent me all the information. So they got something great going on for Cinco de Mayo, right? So they got live DJs. They're going to have tequila shots, beers, the whole thing, Mexican menus, brunch menus. They have everything laid out, and you definitely be able to get yourself prepared because I told you about it. I had great lunch with them the other day. My family and I, we had a beautiful time. My son's in the States, and he's like, well, man, I want to go. So when he comes down there, we're going to do that. We can do that for Mother's Day. Watch it, and you can do it also. Get yourselves prepared, and make sure you reach out to Coco Plum Bistro, right, and Bar. They can be able to assist you with that. Get yourself, they have buffet, they got everything set up really, really nice. Make sure you check them out. They got a great menu. You can find out all the information on social media. That's Coco Plum Bistro and Bar. They got everything laid out, like I said. Make sure you reach out to them. They got it great. And set yourself up. Book early for Mother's Day, right after church. Book early for Mother's Day. Guys, do this and have great conversations, man. A very good friend and a friend to the show is here in the studio with me. And I'm grateful for that, you know. I mean, and I said to him, it is peculiar that we're having these kind of conversations just before, this kind of an engaged period in the country from a political standpoint. But the necessity for having these conversations has never ceased, right? And today we want to be able to talk about this and talk about, from a kingdom perspective, that why, the purpose related to Bahamian building wealth and so forth and so on. I want to introduce you to none other than Dr. C. Clifford Smith. He has everything laid out for us, and I'm excited to do this. My brother, I haven't seen you in a while. How are things with you?
Things are going well, and let me say good afternoon to you and to all of your audience that regularly listens to your show. And I'm excited about this time. Let me, of course, shout out to our people here at Southside Christian in Nassau, and then our people at Lifegate Christian in Abaco. We run the two of those churches, and we're just proud that God has put us in the position He's put us in. Yes. I also want to quickly say hi to my beautiful number one, my wife, my only wife.
Who's a good, decent
Dr. Judy L. McIntosh Smith. Yeah, I always tell if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be Dr. Clifford. So, I'm here, and it's good.
All of us who've been married, when I first got married, you walk into the space and you're trying to be able to give this kind of a speech, and you got to, on behalf of my wife and I.
Hello.
So they've been trying to train us from that time to get ourselves prepared to know how to acknowledge our wives. And we realize, if you're smart, you would realize as time progresses, acknowledgement for your wife is a peaceful space when you get home. Honey, I hear you call my name today.
Yeah, of course.
Praise God. That's it. You have to do that. So I got to be able to shout out to my wife also.
Hey, do that. Do that while we at it. Do that. Amen.
Doc, it's a wonderful thing to see you, man. The last time we had a great conversation, always diving into not necessarily what exists on the surface, but what's really deep. I know that, like I said, the environment is charged with this sort of an idea to look for a target. I think a lot of persons are looking for liberation through man, right? Well, we know that the arms of flesh
will fail you.
Man, talk to me. That's a guarantee. It's not a possibility. It's a guarantee. And despite this inevitable failure for men, I think others continue to be able to look for that proverbial Moses. Who is going to be the liberator? Who is going to be that person to lead us out of this tribulation? And no one runs into faith. No one runs into these core ideas and being able to fortify themselves in faith to be able to move on to another. Talk to me about that.
Well, one of the things that comes up immediately is that, some of us need to look in the mirror and recognize that God has really raised you up and I up to be the Moses that another generation of people. And a lot of times we have to recognize, too, in that story that Moses was not only bringing himself out of that Egyptian bondage kind of situation, but he was also bringing the people with him. He was also helping himself. He was helping his own family. He was investing in his own future. And so, every now and then you got to look in the mirror and say, listen, no one else is coming to do this. I'm it. Let me stop looking for people and start looking in the mirror.
So what does that say about us here locally? 2024, the year of our Lord, still searching in every crevice externally to find a way to be able to get ourselves out of one poverty, which is a poor mindset, and out of this sort of tribulation that we go through. A lot of persons are working from paycheck to paycheck. They are merely existing. Many of us have yet to really live this life. We go through with one Negro spiritual affixed to our heart after another, and continue to be able to say about the glory of the Lord when we meet him, when we get caught up to him, when we find these things. Because we've become content, many of us, we won't say this, but life is hell. Life is hell. And the only way we find true liberation to get back to anything is when we're done with this life. But there are opportunities here that we have not tapped into.
I think one of the problems that we face, especially as a people of faith in our kind of culture, is that we have been trained by the missionaries and trained by, the state church that we've been a part of for so long, that your heaven is coming after this life. You're not going to have it now. And so a lot of people with their own Christian faith and their theology really don't believe that wealth is something that God wants you to have now. And so we have to shift the paradigm and help people to understand. We used to come up, I always tease our people, we sing these songs, I've got a mansion just over the hilltop, in that bright land. And we're thinking about the hereafter, but we don't realize that what God really wants us to do is to be wealth building now, because it is a part of his plan for our lives. And we don't talk to our people enough about it. And I think the paradigm just needs to shift, brother.
But, if we read and we study to show ourselves approved, we would ask ourselves the question, why do we see a new heaven and a new earth? Why? Why not just a new heaven? If the tribulation was supposed to be done.
It's good.
If we're not supposed to, why a new heaven and a new earth? That means that we were designed to be in this space.
Yes.
We were even crafted from the soil, if this is your faith, if this is your understanding. We were molded from the muck and the mire, the dirt of this, and got the breath of life to have a greater appreciation for these things. But many of us, based upon conditioning, based upon where we are, we've rejected that. Content, I won't touch this.
Go ahead.
We've become content with the idea that the good of life is for you, it's for others. It's an external thing. It's not for me. We've become content with the fact that the pastors, many of them, should live a lavish life, that we should pay for a blessing, that we should pay for these particular. We've become content with these concepts and ideas, and not necessarily that we should be the recipient of anything. That the tribulation that follows us, maybe as a result of the sins of my forefathers, or something that I have not done, like Job, and our friends would say. Talk to me about that.
But doesn't that kind of thinking, doesn't that negate the power of the grace of God?
Absolutely.
That has really put us in a place where we are now eligible to tap into what God has put in place for us to have in the first place. See, and if we keep thinking like that and we keep settling, we're really, really living below the standard that we should be at.
I agree with you.
So let me jump right into it, because I firmly believe that one of the things that's got to shift is a paradigm. And first we got to ask ourselves, is this God's will for our lives that we be in a place where we're enjoying the abundance of what he has put in? If you study those scriptures clearly and you look at the theology, there's no way that you wouldn't be able to answer unequivocally, yes, this is God's will for us. Secondly, why? So where's the why? The why has to do with the fact that, if God put us here, God wants us to be in a position to add value to other people's lives. How are you going to be, let's pull a story out quick. You cannot be that good Samaritan if you don't have money. You can't. You can't help anybody. You can't do anything. But we have a lot of believers that want to help. They have a heart to help. They have a heart to give. They have a heart to share. But you can't be that person if you don't have wealth. So then comes the next question. So how do I get wealth? All right. Well, the Bible does say that we should remember the Lord because it's he that gives us the power to get wealth. Now, what is that? It comes from opportunity. It comes from strategies. It comes from abilities. Everything that we need, in order for us to tap into what God has in store for us is right within us and around us. When I talk to Bahamians, and I'm kind of cutting to the chase because I don't want this to be too much of the theology class, I think that this is a season where the church really needs to take another look at what we're teaching people and get deeper into what it means to be redeemed and what it means to be saved. It's not just enough for us to be teaching people that we're on our way to heaven. But in the meantime, is this the kind of life that we ought to be living? And I'm just throwing the question on the table. That's a big area that I think theologians and pastors and Bible teachers need to get into and understand. What are we teaching people and what are we saying to these people and what are we putting them into when they come before us every Sunday? That's a different kind of class. I don't think that this purpose is served today. What I do want to say to the average Bahamian today that understands God, it is God's will for you to be in a position where your life matters and your life counts. And the only way for your life to count is for you to be in a position to help other people. Okay, Pastor, how do I get in that position? Let me make this very, very clear. In every single geographical location, every national location, there are gifts. There are redemptive gifts, we call them. Some people call them natural resources. I'm a theologian, I call them redemptive gifts. So whatever they are that is around us, for example, this is the Bahamas. We have the largest, one of the most trafficked touristic destinations in the world. There are any number of small business opportunities, ideas, strategies, things that people can do that are connected to tourism on a weekly basis. I mean, everything from cooking to transportation to tour guides to whatever it is. And when you think about it, people are saying, so why go into that and not stay with a one stream of income? Well, I think the answer is in the question. When you're stuck on one stream, then you're not going to be in a position where you could help other people. But when you tap into this unlimited, I think I heard last year that we had some 9 million plus tourists land in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you just stop and you think, between having a tour car or two, having an Airbnb, providing a cooking service, providing a hair braiding service, whatever it is, whether it's jet skis and water sports, whatever it is that really you could have access to. There are any number of things. I know people that have started a little cleaning company. They do a little cleaning company and they have contracts with people who have Airbnbs. Why? Airbnb. Because why? They didn't have the real estate to do the Airbnb, but they had enough to get some equipment and take out some contracts. So now they're cleaning Airbnbs every week. Unlimited amount of money just working it. You understand? And then on that one day, on the weekend, you come out of all of that and you come before God. See, if you think like that and you start living your life like that, first of all, I really, really want to end this little monologue here with this. Egypt must always be remembered as a place where the labor and the skill sets of a people were misused for others, and the other people got of everything, and the people of Israel got peanuts. And they were so conditioned to eating just peanuts and getting a little bit out the flesh pot.
Onion.
That even when they went in the wilderness and God was saying, let me take you out of that, they wanted to go back to that. Because when a generation is born in captivity and born in slavery, where we've been saying, just get a job at the hotel rather than trying to own shares in the hotel.
Or trying to own the hotel.
You see, or trying to own the hotel. When you're born into being settled for just being one of the guys at the door, opening doors and closing doors and taking luggage. And when you have settled and a whole generation has been born into that, it's difficult to break them out mentally and say, you know something? Have you ever thought about owning this hotel? Have you ever thought about owning a fleet of cars? You could do that. Yeah, but how many fleet of cars can you have? It doesn't matter to me, because the truth is, the poor you will always have with you. Coward. There will always be people that will not accept what I'm talking about right now. But I didn't come for everybody. I came for some people that are hearing the voice of God. Some people that have been praying. They pray and then God sends them these ideas, and then we have this way of dismissing the ideas and saying, that can't be God. That ain't spiritual enough. That's too much money. That's too much this. That's too much. Really? You miss out the whole section in the scripture where the first major thing that God does to establish the covenant with Abraham is he said, I'll make you wealthy. And we still got all these wealthy Jewish people to this day. See, this is one of my pet peeves with the whole church and our faith and how we think. So I've been pushing it, Howard. I've been pushing it. And I've been telling people for a number of years. We got a number of people in our church, for example, that went into a little small business this, little added on this, little added on, and it makes a big difference. Howard, I know my people, when they come to church, I can look in their face and I can see the level of their stress going down because now they got more money.
They can take care of things.
And they can take care of stuff. It
answers some things.
Well, that's what the Bible says. Money answer it.
Questions that you have. Lord, where I can get this money from to do this? And you create this concept and idea. And I want to say this. I want to talk to you like this. We as a people have been, we've had a steady diet and been spoon-fed by leadership in this country about our strategic position, geopolitical position, a geographical position, and even a geoeconomic position. This is where we expect to be, right? We've been fed this regularly. We've been fed this kind of an idea that you're grassroots people. And so we take a steady diet of that, right? Not considering that this is the proverbial mud cake of our generation. But we eat this.
I like
right?
the way you put that.
Yeah. So we eat this, right? It's not considering that we are more than this because we've been grown into this. So we've grown and developed into this Stockholm syndrome that says we are a service industry. Right. Not considering that the world wants to come to the Bahamas. We don't take any consideration to the $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 that we save to go to the United States of America annually, and come back home with $50 in our pocket.
Do you know that it is said that Bahamians are a major builder of the Florida economy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, right?
Okay.
We come back home with $50, and the only reason we bring that $50 is because we needed to pay somebody for the truck to carry the things home. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Let's be very clear about this now. You didn't lie to the customs officers. So I'm saying this to say to you that our mindset, we take no consideration that the human being who seeks to go to the Bahamas have saved their money the same way. But we've allowed them to go back home with thousands of dollars in their pocket.
Yeah.
You've done nothing to be able to create an environment, not begging, not hassling or haggling people, but create an environment that people want to participate. We haven't done that.
And more these people are coming here looking for other things to do.
They're looking for more things to do.
All kinds of things to do. So right now, Howard, I'm glad we're having this conversation simply because, and I know I jumped in, but let me say this to you. The Lord's been pushing me. The Lord said to me, and I stood up when they asked me to speak for the 50th year anniversary. I only had, these guys gave me 7 minutes. I had to do something in 7 minutes. And I simply said, the Lord spoke to me that 2023 was the beginning of 7 years of overflow for the Bahamas.
I like this.
Because there is something coming up that's going to be a little worse than COVID by 2030. Are you listening to me? And because of that, now more than ever, while we are in the overflow and the opportunity of 7 years, now is the time to call your children, call your sons, call your daughters, call everybody, sit down and say, look here, what we could do. Come on, we got to get some of this. Why? Because this is the time to be tapping into the wealth, because what's coming up down the road, we cannot as a people allow ourselves to enter in the state that we were in.
It'll be worse than last.
The state that we were in, we still got people right now living out their car because the bank just took the house. They had, 4 years of payment left? 4 years of payment left. Bank took the house. They're gone with all of that. We lost that because we were stuck on your income and my income. God, good thing we married. We got 2 salary coming in. Yeah, but COVID shut the whole thing down. And
because everybody work in the hotel.
Everybody work in the hotel. Or they work for government. And government, I mean, they can correct me, but there's no government that doesn't claim to just borrow money to pay the civil service. I mean, we just killing ourselves and keep putting money on the debt and doing all of this stuff. But no one is sitting down and thinking, how can I, with my family, tap into what's available right now to make some serious headway for the future?
I want to say this to you. Oh my God, I'm enjoying this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you want to be able to participate. In a couple of minutes, I can go to a break. Let's do this. Yes, on Monday. No, Tuesday. Tuesday of this week, I had a fantastic conversation with a very good friend of mine, Ambassador Devin Rowe. Right? Devin is my guy, right? So he said something, and he's always dropping his thing. He's always thinking. And he says, this year is the first year after our 50th Jubilee celebration. This is the first year. And he started to talk about how he's recognized that in the first year after the Jubilee, that the 50 years prior was the Pimlin era. So I said, what? He said, for the entire 50 years, this was the Pimlin era. This was a mindset. And I realized what he was saying. He said, now we are on the outer bands. This is what he says. He said, we are now on the outer bands of the Pimlin era. And now we're looking for something different in leadership. We're looking for something different in our communities. We're looking for something tangible, and we're looking to identify the people that can be attracted and we can attract to make this thing happen. I think this is a strong conversation that we're having today. It's a strong conversation that we're having. Because what we in this position is, I think a lot of persons need to wake up out of the idea that we're a service industry and start to consider that this is a service that people want.
And it is not controlled internally.
I think 400,000 millionaires is not a hard thing to do.
It's not hard to do at all. And all you have to do is wake up and see, okay, if over 9 million people landed looking for all kinds of things to do, if you and I only made $1
from each one of them.
Hello. You understand what I'm saying? So come on.
No, I ain't talking about no money to the government. I'm talking about money in our pocket.
No money in our pocket, because we love to use this phrase, foreign direct investment. Man, the best foreign direct investment is you with your car, with your tour operator license on the road, when the ship lands.
And they directly put it in my pocket.
And they come straight to you. They come straight to you. And I've seen 1 or 2 people downtown already that are doing it. They got their phone. These people texting them. These people sending their money straight to an app. You understand?
That's how you do business.
And then you just hold up a plaque.
I'm looking for Sheila.
Walk behind them. You understand? They walk behind you. 40-something people behind you.
I was impressed.
Going to the 66 steps. I'm just saying, there's so many things that our people could do.
I was impressed the other day. I don't know whether or not this is the Chipman family or who's doing this. I saw Chippy Chipman or someone picture on the side of this beautiful mini bus, right, downtown. They were stacked with tourists, right? They had 2 buses. I saw one at one point, and then months passed, they got 2 buses. I said, oh my God, they're making money, Jesus.
Yeah.
Praise God for these people.
Yes.
They are doing well. We could figure out a way by ourselves. We don't have to be the ones holding the sign all day saying, you want love? Not in a bad way. I don't say that to be condescending to anyone. I'm simply saying that we've seen this for years.
Yes, we have.
We've seen this for years. You've been in this position for years. You know that you have the attractability. You know that you have these qualities. You know that you have the pizzazz and the flair. You know that you can attract these people so they can get the buy-in. All you have to do is find a partner that calls you to close business. See, this is another part of the conversation we have to have. How do we unite to get to a position of productivity? Because no man is an island unto himself. You may have the idea. I may have the finances. The same spoon-fed idea that continues to be able to say that we're grassroots people, they've given us a side dish that says, now watch out for black crab syndrome now. Watch out now. Don't let no black fella see what you're doing, because they can thief your idea. We've been fed this sort of a diet, this unhealthy diet that's really breaking up our society. I'm going to take this commercial break, and when we get back, I want to talk about the kind of unity and how do we find ourselves productive in this space. Guys, quick commercial break and be right back after this.
Get ready for another exciting Fish Fry Friday, May 3rd at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. Kicking off the month of May, celebrating Nurses Month.
Night nurse.
From 6:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., featuring the Big Band Visage and DJ Beats. We salute all the nurses as we celebrate Nurses Month at Fish Fry Friday.
Me girl call her knocks if I leave home. Well, I tell she are real close. Girl, I almost did.
Admission $25 general, $55 for the Bahamian Buffet at Vacation Cafe and the party. All government workers get $5 off their entry with your work ID. You can win passes to dine at Vacation Cafe and passes to the water park. So make your plans to be at Fish Fry Friday. From your favorite old school jams. Fish Fry Friday, Margaritaville, downtown Nassau, 12 Old Palm, May 3rd.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion. Located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian, local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's 56-0249 or 323-5267.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company here with none other than Dr. C. Clifford Smith, being able to talk about the progressive state of the country, being able to see ourselves in a strategic position for growth and development. And how do we do that? How do we? I think a lot of people are indifferent. I think we've become, I don't know whether or not this is another part of this meal that we've been fed over the course of time, that it's taboo to hear men and women of God have a conversation about, acquisition, right? To talk about the idea that we can actually be more than we are. It's taboo. I think that you know that. I think that over the course of Christendom, right? Not necessarily kingdom. There's two different things. Let's just be decent. Over the course of Christendom, over the course of your life, you would have met people. And the only way you could be able to separate yourself from this is study to show yourself approved. And when you study, you identify that we shouldn't have to live in this particular state, and instead we could be able to move up and on, right? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all else will be added unto you, right? And if we have these kind of concepts and ideas, and we apply these things, and we see ourselves successful, there is a great deal of people in this small chain of should be content for where we are. That we shouldn't strive for anything more. They're content, even if we go through tribulation. They say to you, well, baby, you know, sometimes you just got to let it go. That they're not willing to fight for anything.
Right.
They've given no consideration for the fight of our forefathers for the liberty and independence, even the perceived independence that we enjoy today. They've given no consideration for the fight of our forefathers in yesteryear that got us to where we are. And they give no consideration for the responsibility that we have to fight for the liberty for our children. But talk to me about it. And I think one of those chains that we're still tethered and shackled to, right? Almost like a horse with one rope over a small chair. A horse mindset is that I'm stuck. Doesn't realize that he has the power. The power to be able to overcome this small chair. He could shake that off. We are tethered to economic depravity, to this poor mindset. And anytime a man or woman of the cloth speak about these things, we say, oh my God, all they want to do is thief the people money. Oh my God, all they want to do is just use the word of God to be. Talk to me about this.
I think there's a difference between, well, first of all, let me get to this. You and I grew up on things, and I think that without me getting, specific about the lessons that we learned about heaven being worth it all, and we don't need anything in the earth realm. Let me go back a little bit to when I was in seminary. I do remember doing a course in liberation theology. The whole understanding of liberation is that when a people really realize, God's will for their lives, then they start to recognize that some of what they are tethered to and tied to now, that's not God's perfect will for them. So it becomes very, discomforting especially for the captors and those that have had these people enslaved for so long. But it does become liberating for the people. Now, the thing about it is, I do remember, for example, there was a large segment of evangelical thinking that said, do not teach all of these third world Christian people about too much liberation, because there's a lot of
are getting
slave.
too deep for me.
Well, my thing is that's why I came. Howard, I came because sometimes many of our people that are talking and thinking, there leaves certain things to be desired. And I don't want to go there. I just want to simply tell you, I came through a course, research, where it was documented that these people made it a part of the plan. When you send the missionaries, when they do this, let's not let people go too far into what is obviously the far-reaching redemptive possibilities of liberation in Christ, because if they go too far, we're going to lose our slaves and our servants. Now, and so let's preach to them about heaven and not talk to them anything about here. Don't let them make sure that a lot of them in the Protestant world are, kind of dismissive when it comes to Old Testament theology and Old Testament, all of what we get from that. Because if we keep that away from them, they won't see that in order for you to really tap into where God wants you to be, you have to go way back to what God said to Abraham and remember that Christ came to make what God said to Abraham possible for all the rest of the people in the world. God told him, I'm going to make you rich. He said, I'm going to make you wealthy. And he gave him purpose. He said, I'm going to do it. Here's the why. So that you could be a blessing to other people. So a lot of our people have never come into the fulfillment of their spiritual walk with God, the fulfillment that comes out of being that good Samaritan, writing that check, helping those kids go to school, paying off that medical thing, all of that. They never stepped into that level of fulfillment, and we've learned to settle. So I'm out here saying that, look, you know what God's will is? God's will is that you be in a position and he could use you to help people. That's the purpose of wealth, because we got to get that under our belt. A lot of us ran away from wealth because we were afraid when we saw how rich people carried on with their money. But what we've been looking at is a lot of examples of rich people with their wealth who have no spirit in them. So all they do is buy more stuff, get more flashy, do more crazy stuff, and then it becomes popular, and then everybody want that. But real Christian people are looking and saying, yeah, but that's not my heart. The thing I want, so I'll settle. You see how the cycle is vicious? And yet, on the other side of that, we need greater examples of people who have faith and people who have true relationship
is
with
an
God,
amazing thing.
who are saying, okay, here's my wealth. Watch what I'm going to do with it. You realize with the Good Samaritan, we don't even know his name, but boy, we know his game. We don't know his name.
A lot of people don't know the end of the story. Why was he called a Good Samaritan? Samaritans was innocent people.
According to the Jewish whole culture?
If you knew the Jewish whole culture and you understand these things, Samaria, the Samaritans weren't the people that you could lean on, trust on, so forth and so on. And when you identify the Good Samaritan, he had to be highlighted.
He had to be highlighted.
Because it doesn't matter where you come from, whether it be Bethlehem, whether it be 8 Mile Rock, whether it be Samaria, there is a purpose in you.
Yes.
And I think a lot of persons, they reject the purpose in you because they look at the surface, the superficial. And man judges the exterior and God judges the heart. And no one knows where your convictions exist and reside. They only see you, oh, that fella from here, they only want to do these things, whether that be a politician, no matter what it is.
Right.
But you have the responsibility to be able to push beyond that. I wanted to be able to talk to you about that because I said, the one thing I think that we've become accustomed to in our society is taking on this mindset and this idea, this spirit of the rich. Let me say that. A lot of people who do master classes and they give information on social media about not only acquisition but retention of wealth, and it all has to do with a sense of really selfishness. Really selfishness.
Yeah.
But if you look at their business,
Right.
and you look at their expansion of business, they are philanthropic. They give significantly from their business. That's why their business grows. But they give you the advice of being able to save and don't necessarily share, which is a peculiar thing to me. I don't understand. You giving and you expanding and you telling people not to give. So this idea that expands in our country about, look here, I taking care of me, I'm worrying about nobody else, doesn't lend to the thriving community. First thing pop up in my head when you said that is Craig Flowers, Perry Christine, and all the men of old that we know. Every single one of them, when they sit with me, the first thing they do is give acknowledgement to men and women who ain't even here no more.
Right.
The first time, every single time I sit with them and talk with them about their origin story.
Okay.
Whether on radio or off, talk about the inception of their story and their path to find social responsibility and commitment. Every time I talk to them, the first thing they do is give me a story about someone who identified something in them and poured into them. Every time. Anytime you talk to Bishop Neil Ellis, he would tell you about Lyndon Pinlin, who identified in him something that he didn't see.
Right.
Every time you talk to Bishop Neil Ellis, he would tell you about Frankie Wilson, who gave him something that he didn't have. And this about being able to give back is no longer in our society.
Well, I could let me.
I won't be decent with that.
No, yeah, and because it is because we don't talk about it from a spiritual standpoint and show the value in it from a divine origin. Let me say what I mean. The divine connection about giving is the whole heart of God. See, okay. I hope this don't go over people's head. But look at the gospel again. It simply says, for God so loved the world that he gave. And in the giving, the son that was the seed that was planted continues to bring a harvest of millions and millions of souls today. Right? Did you follow that?
Even unborn.
Unborn. Still, it's a harvest still coming. Because God gave his.
Well, you know I right here.
Because God gave his best. I know you here.
Okay, let's go.
And I know you on the same wavelength. So what we've done is we've dismissed almost the whole ideal that we need to be able to take the time to teach people how to give. There are a lot of people who make wealth today. Boy, I could say this. The only reason why they give is because they're in a country where if they don't give it, like the government would come and take it anyway, because the government already have a system. So they give because of the taxation system that they're in, and they give because they want to do something that they want to do with their money.
Social obligation and responsibility.
Right, but there's no spiritual conviction in it. And this is what we have to show our people. If you have it, there's a spiritual principle that says from God, I will make you wealthy so that you could take care of other people, because in the process of caring for people, more will come to you, and it will never stop coming as long as you are giving.
And guess what? As long as people come to me, watch me. It's a peculiar thing. I might as well tell you the truth. I can say this.
Is this making sense?
Yeah, this is making. I can tell you why. I can bring it home. When we start helping Howard, every time I start to give out, it's peculiar how the money keeps coming, and I could give. And every time I get a chunk of change or whatever the case may be to do something, I get a telephone call, Mr. Grant, I need this and I need this. And I could be able to assist if I can assist. I'm only saying that to say, it's amazing how it's almost like your car. When you get money, your car decides to break down. It's peculiar. How did my car know I got money?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. It held up. It held up as long.
Universe.
Yeah.
How does the universe? How do these people I do not know that I have something I can assist you with now, and they just call?
Well, there are two ways of looking at that, and I won't go too deep into that, because the other side of that too is the enemy also knows that you're getting, okay? And the
Absolutely.
The thing about it is we can come up with stuff to take away what you ought to be. You follow me on that?
I like this.
So you gotta be aware of that too.
Discerning.
Yeah. And you gotta pray about these things. But you said something before we went to the break, and I wanted to deal with that because it has to do with another side that I believe the gospel could help people with in terms of wealth building. Wealth building requires partnership. And to be fed with this whole, now watch out for the black crab syndrome, now watch out who's gonna undermine you, now watch out they coming on the side to steal. You develop a whole culture of people that have this kind of cynicism and this kind of, just suspicionism, if I may coin a term, where we don't want to work with other people. And yet, the whole of the Bible is about, first when God said, it's not good for Adam to be alone. This wasn't about marriage.
Talk to me now.
This was about partnership.
You're getting deep.
Okay? So when you could go from that particular moment when God made the woman for the man, and their partnership, go all the way to Solomon. And when Solomon simply says in the book of Ecclesiastes, well, you could go before that, but I'm trying to jump fast. He says, because at the time, he says, 2 is better than 1. You got to have more than 1, because when you work together, there's more of an income that flows, and then we call, 2 plus 2 in the spiritual sense don't really equal, 2 plus 2 don't equal 4 in the spiritual sense. In the spiritual sense, when you put 2 plus 2, you actually get 14.
Hold on. I got to get deep with you.
Then Jesus, hold on. Then Jesus.
Wherever there are 2
or 3.
There I am.
Yeah.
And because he's there, automatically it multiplies. I get deep.
Yeah.
Even before Adam and Eve, it is not good for man to be alone. He said, let us.
Let us.
Let us. That's a collective.
Thank you, Howard.
And almost every subsector that you find progressive growth and development, even when the friends band together and came to Job, I just get preachy, I got to calm down. Even when they band together, it wasn't one of them.
It was 4.
And Job was still tethered to his faith.
One of the biggest things, I hate to say this like this, but it's true, and it's just bearing the point. One of the biggest killers to modern Christian ministry is when all these people who are supposed to be in what I call the sevenfold ministry, we call it fivefold, but it's really 7, we always miss out the minstrel and Judas, the treasurer. We only praying for certain people,
Yes.
so we breaking up the church. The biggest hindrance to modern church ministry is that we forget God gave gifts to men, and Jesus gave those gifts. All of those gifts are supposed to be operating the church as a team. A team of individuals or a team of programs, but they're supposed to work as a team. Even when Jesus sent out men, he sent them out 2 by 2. All I'm saying is partnership is a spiritual principle, and nowhere is partnership greater served than when we are trying to build wealth. You have to do it with somebody. You have to work with somebody. Somebody got to give you an opportunity. Somebody got to stand beside you.
This is heavy.
Somebody got to have the idea.
My God,
and the other person have the money. But we come in this room together. Don't own a thing. Come to here to lunch. The 4 of us get in the room. I got the ideas. You got the money. You got the this. And we form a partnership. And if we stick together, I guarantee you, it'll only take a cycle just for starters. In the first 4 years, we will make millions.
Now I want to ask this question.
But what we do, we break up and go this way.
Yeah, because everybody. Okay, so I want to ask this question. 4 of us get together in this room.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing? Because I have the answer in my mind. I won't put it on the table. The one thing that needs to be able to be, that provides us with a ground zero of commonality and is discernment. I believe that we have to have a heightened discernment when we step in this room, that everyone is on the same accord. And it's only through casual conversation, when we break in the icebreakers and being able to have coffee or whatever the case may be, you could hear men's heart when you hear and you start to listen to them, and you could hear their conviction, because out of the heart, right? Your mouth speak what your heart is filled with. And so when you start to, when the mics are off and all these things, and you're still talking like this, and you can still be steadfast in your conviction, I believe that we have a good point. One of the issues that we have in this country is that a lot of men, from a political standpoint, economic standpoint, and otherwise, who seek to move themselves towards a position of power, they are they're seeking self-grandizing. They're looking for something for themselves. They don't have no understanding that your time is fleeting. They look at the quote unquote the proverbial white man and try to figure out how can he sustain growth and development over the course of time, and they take no consideration to legacy, take no consideration to consistency, take no consideration to how they've built this and they've fed it to the next generation, that this is our responsibility, this is our social position, this is the expectation that we have of you. We don't do that.
No, we don't.
We don't do that.
No, we don't.
How do we get to this?
You
needed 6 hours to do
to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you this. I think the thing that's needed in the room, and I love what you talked about, because you're talking about discerning. You know what discerning really takes you? To a place where you're able to see the sincerity of a partner that wants us and we to win rather than me. And we have a big, big issue when every person wants it to be about me and not about we. If at your heart of hearts, you don't want us to win, if it's always just the individual and not the team, then you're always running the risk of people trying to, when they get their ASU draw, they gone. They break the cycle, gone. Everybody got to start all over again because they went and no one could find them. Took the money and went. Because they were never trying.
It's a poor mindset.
Yeah, it's a poor mindset. It's got to change. And I want to say this. There's some people don't believe in this, but I'll say it this way. We talk about karma in a different religion. Well, karma is about you get back what you put in. Whatever you throw, they're coming back at you.
But that's reciprocity.
And it's reciprocity, and it's what the Bible talks about when it says God is not deceived. Whatever man sow, that shall he also reap.
That's it.
Whatever
it's
you
reciprocal.
Put
Anything you feed, that's all it's a seed.
I have been on a mission to try to help as many Bahamian business people, spiritual people, government teams, people working together to say, look, put your sincerity of heart into the team winning, into the team effort. Build your loyalty around the fact that it don't have to be about you.
I can do this on live.
It don't have to be about you. It have to. If the team is winning, and no matter how me and you argue and see difference of opinion and all of that, I'm not leaving this team. You know why? This is a good team. Why? Because our objectives and our goals are legacy wealth building, and we're heading in a direction. Can I see growth from the last year? Yes, I can. The book's showing it. Data don't lie. So if I just stick with this, what's happened the last 3 years? Data don't lie. It's all showing us we coming. Are we getting that? We are going somewhere. So why am I going to jump overboard now?
I need more of this conversation with you. Okay? Now, you and I said this, but time continues to elapse before we can be able to get to something tangible. So on air, I want to say to you, I want to provide you with a segment.
Not a problem.
I want to provide you with a segment that you could pre-record something that you can be able to say, get to a point within that short segment.
Okay.
And we could be able to drop that and let persons be able to get a perpetual, consistent nugget of this until they're filled with an understanding that we can be able to empower ourselves beyond the expectation of leaning on central government, leaning on the number man, or waiting for Mr. Beast to give us something. We can do this.
We can do it. We can do this. We can do this.
We can do this.
But the time is short, Howard. The time is short. When I tell you we are in that 7 years, we are here. 2023.
We got 6 years and some.
2023 was year number 1. So right now, people who picking this up, 2023, July the 10th begun. First year. We're now.
So July the 10th.
We're now heading into second year. So if you're just getting this, folks, if you're just getting this, we are already in the 7 years of a great opportunity for you to tap in. You already have the why. The why is my life has got to count. I got to be here to help some people. I got to be here to make a difference. That's why I need to be Legacy Wealth Building. Why now? Now because we just had 9 million plus tourists last year. What you think happening this year?
Hopefully 18.
Thank you. So somewhere out here, you got to be able to tap into something. Build yourself some partnerships. Pray about, being able to discern people and pick up their hearts. And get in and jump in now and understand that God is behind you. This is God's will for you. Don't be afraid. You know what? Don't let your greatest fear be a failure. Let your greatest fear be that you just might discover that you are absolutely magnificent for this time.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show today. We had none other than Dr. C. Let the persons know where they can get you from. If they want to be able to come to church or listen into you, let them know exactly how they can be able to do that.
Southside Christian is online. We are in Facebook. And of course, you can find us down on, we're at Dignity Gardens, right at the head there. And we've been building there for a number of years, but you can find me there. And we have our services during the week. You can look us up on Facebook, check us out online. That's where we are. And hopefully, we can do something for the kingdom.
I got my texters calling me and saying, Howard, they texted me, this is Howard, you got to bring him back. We really enjoyed this conversation. The lines are going crazy today. We're going to be able to do something formal with you. Okay. I'd like to be able to do that. I mean, seriously, let's be able to do this.
You let me know and
especially
we'll
do
talk.
This, right?
Yeah.
So what's the number for Southside?
Number 605-7264.
7264?
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very kindly. Make sure you check him out. All the information's in there, Southside Christian Church. You can be able to do that. Dr. C. Clifford Smith has all the information of being able to talk about these things and is unfearful about talking about wealth. I think a lot of pastors don't know how to genuflect, don't know how to approach this kind of a conversation without their perceived pushback from society that says, oh my God, I know they can kill me if I start talking about money. But let's talk about this. I mean, because guess what? I need money. Let's talk about this. Guys, I want to thank you so very kindly for tuning into the show today. Tomorrow as D-Day, we're going to find out more information. I heard some information from Michael Pintard says that he's going to nominate tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to see. I got enough information. I know you don't want to talk about it, but time keep on slipping. Let's play a little bit more of that seal before we get out of here. And we're going to see exactly what's happening. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Dr. Smith, I want to thank you so much for being with me, my brother.
We'll be back anytime.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. Guys, have a beautiful, beautiful day. We're going to see you tomorrow. Godspeed right here on The Foundation.